With me is head coach and a state champion himself, Germane Lindsey, and next to me is Jake Johnston, who's the 2018 195-pound Ohio State champion. Coach Lindsey, you won this title, not this title, but your title, back in 2007, and then you earned All-American status at Ohio University, right?
Yeah, you stand correct.
With all that experience, which do you find more difficult, coaching or wrestling?
Ooh, that's a tough question. If I had to really think about it, coaching is way harder than actually wrestling, but I can never take away from all the hard work and pain that I had to endure to capture my goals. So,
speaking of pain, how important is that in the sport? Is it something that is a motivator, or is it what turns some guys away from it?
I think now, looking at the coaching aspect, just trying to get guys to wrestle, pain definitely takes guys out of the sport, but the true champions know how to endure it. And my coach from Ohio University always used to say, you better get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So if you can endure some pain, you're going to go far in life.
What do you think about that, Jake?
I think he's right. I'm actually pretty fortunate because I haven't ran into too many injuries, but I know it's pretty prevalent in college. A bunch of guys that have actually national champs just came out and said they've wrestled with torn ACLs. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely important. So,
Coach, you know, there's to lots of people, your job looks simple. All you got to do is go out, sit in a chair, yell at a ref once in a while, and let this guy do all the work. Is that all there is to this?
When you're wrestling, you think that's all it is, but behind the scenes, as a coach and even guys that are like ADs, I have way more appreciation for them because you know that they're answering their phone calls late at night when their day's over with. You know that they're thinking about the hotel rooms and they're thinking about, does the van have gas in it? Will we be okay to drive back in this weather conditioning with these guys? Is my guy, is he underweight? You know, there's a lot more to this individual. You're thinking about 14 other guys, maybe 17 other guys if you got some coaches that, you know, maybe a little bit out there too. But I'm fortunate with good coaches, so that doesn't happen too often. But it's definitely more than just the X's and O's, and I have a different appreciation for the sport because of that.
So Jake, tell us what it takes to become a state champion. What was your, well, what did it mean to your life? Because it isn't something just happened this year. What did it mean to your life? How did you choose the sport, and what did it mean to you to reach this level of accomplishment?
all right, yeah. So I guess I'll answer the first one. Yeah, my dad got me into it when I was 5. So I think a main part of wrestling is you have to have the experience, and once you have the experience, you get the mental toughness. And I think that was a big part in my success, was just the mental game of staying calm, kind of joking around before, not getting too tense. And that also comes with being before I won state, I was a state qualifier. So it's kind of hard just to go straight to a state champ. It kind of takes some steps to get up to that. So I was familiar with the process, and then took second as a junior. So I was kind of prepped going into this year to. I had the same coaches, Germane and Joe, and I was prepped going into this year to win state. So.
You know, that's one of the things that I was going to ask about. You were runner-up in 2017.
Yes, sir.
How did that affect you between that event and this event?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough to deal with, but it made all the difference. This year, when I was in the finals, I knew how to deal with the crowd when you're in the tunnel just waiting and your name's about to be called. This year I kind of just walked out, calm, looked at my coaches, got ready, just got the job done.
It wasn't an easy road to the title for you. Coming into the district tournament, you had 2 losses during the season. And then you get to the state meet, you pick up a pin, you follow that with a dominant match, and then you get into that sudden victory quarterfinal match. How hard is that, knowing that you're now into sudden victory? Do you train for that?
Yeah, I mean that was a tough, like athletic kid, like kind of Germane, how he wrestles, where it's just tough to score on. So, like once I got in that match, I knew it was gonna be. You just have to grind it out. But I just found a way to win at the end. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't really worried, but I knew that it was gonna be like kind of tough. So.
The championship match was one that was really a tough, gritty match also, and going against the St. Ed's guy is generally a guarantee that you're going to have to fight for every point and for every second that the thing goes. What were your thoughts as you went through the match? When did you know? When did you think you had it won?
All right. Well, my coach just game planned it, and we knew that he was always attacking. So you need to stop that. One of them is you have to be able to ride him out. So you take him down, because if you take him down and then you're not able to ride him, he gets back up and he's coming right at you. So to slow him down, you have to ride him out. So I went out there, take an early shot, and took him down, and it was actually pretty easy. And I rode him out for the rest of that. And then now that I've watched it a few times, I think the key to that match was riding it out. And then once I knew I had it won when I had him on his back, and I couldn't really see him coming back after that because I knew he couldn't get back once on me, and I'm pretty tough to take down. So.
As I asked Coach about the influence of Moeller on him, and as a coach, what about the influence of Moeller on you as a wrestler? Does it play a role in shaping you and making you who you are?
Yeah, for sure. Like I actually started out with Moeller when I was like a little kid, and I don't think G even knows this, but when I first heard about the state champs, I was like at some like summer camp. I was like a little kid, and I remember hearing Germane, Lindsey, Frank Becker, and like Dean Geyer. They all came in and they were like talking about their state run and like where they were at college-wise, and then that's when I was first like started with Moeller, and I was like I knew I wanted to be there. So then got into high school, and I fully believed that I had like the right team and coaches to carry me to get the title.
What about now that you're part of the Moeller tradition? What responsibilities, what pressures does that put on you now?
Well, I'm going to step in and say he's going to be an All-American and hopefully Moeller's first national champion.
There you go.
And we said this right after he won state title, walking into the hallway. Right after that, I said that to him because I really believe what St. Ed's is doing. They imprint that into their young men, and those young men really believe that when they get to the college scene. So I think if I imprint that right now, it's up to him to do it, but I think he has that talent to do that.
Speaking of college, I understand you're headed for the Air Force.
Yes, sir.
So are you going to go, and Coach has already tipped us off that you're planning on wrestling out there too, right?
Yeah.
So how long have you been thinking about becoming an Air Force general?
Well, yeah, I think it was like freshman or sophomore year, I just wanted to become a pilot. So I started looking at different routes to become pilot and landed at the Air Force Academy. And I wasn't even sure if I'd like be able to wrestle or if I was good enough, I knew that I think I wanted to wrestle in college, but then I guess right after junior year, I knew that I was good enough to compete up at that level, and me and the coach started talking, and I committed beginning of senior year.
Did you start out? Have you visited the academy and talked to the coaches and everything?
Yes, sir. I've been out there like 2 times. So one for an unofficial, one official. So yeah, it's cool.
I've heard that's a really beautiful place to be.
Oh yeah,
Beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah. One of the things associated with champions is that they have to provide a standard for others to learn from. They have to. You mentioned the guys that came and impressed you as a little kid, and later on as you grew up. If you have one thing that you wanted to say to a youngster who was contemplating this, let me take this a different way. What would you say to a parent who had a kid who maybe came home and said, I think maybe I want to try wrestling? What would be your advice to that parent?
We'll just take him to a practice, and I guarantee the little kids love all that stuff, like going and running around. And you make a ton of friends, and then also with that, which like the kids don't really realize, but I think it's easy for the parents to see that, like they're forming habits that'll set them up to like achieve like greater success in life later on. So I mean, definitely do it.
How about words of wisdom to your younger teammates, the ones that got to get through the year next year and the year after that?
I just get in the room more, experience everything summer wrestling. If you want to get a step up on the competition, you have to find it somehow. So.
Did you spend a lot of time summer wrestling?
Yeah. I mean, I went to Fargo, and I definitely could have done more. But yeah, I've done like some freestyle here and there. So yeah, it helps a lot.
What do you think's in your room to duplicate this act, Coach?
Well, we have a lot of young talent. One name that stands out is Jordan Ward. Other names probably won't stand out to most people, but I think when you're coaching in your room every day, you obviously believe in your guys, and I fully believe in the next group of seniors. Obviously, it'd be hard to replace the seniors that we had this year: Trevor Hankins, Jake Thompson, Sam Weiss, and Mitchell Moore. But I think the young guys that I have right now, they're very moldable. They work hard. They're coachable, and then I think they're hungry. But like Jake said, we just have to be a little bit more mat rats, and the sky's the limit for our team.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Coach. Appreciate your taking the time to join us today, and especially Jake. You've provided a lot for your family, your Moeller fans, the general wrestling community in Southern Ohio to be proud of, and to remember the mark of a champion that gritted his way through match after match after match. You're joining a group of very special people. State champions from this part of the state are unique in that there's not a whole lot of them, and that makes you stand out. I've often told youngsters that there'll come a time when you'll be sitting in a maybe an officer club, and conversation is going to turn around to what you did before, and somebody's going to come up and say, well, you know, I could have been this, I could have done that, I might have been a great running back, I may have been whatever. But there's the one guy that has the chance to put them all away is that guy that says, well, I did it and I was a state champion. So good luck to you, and best wishes to you in the Air Academy. And Coach, we'll be looking forward to seeing you in the fall.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
I'm Dave Bean for Waycross Community Media. I want to thank Denny Dupps here at Indian Hill News for providing us with the location and the system to get this interview done. We'll be looking for you as the 2018-19 season begins. Goodbye now.